Hey, what's happening, guys? So, got some lure reviews that I wanted to do for you this week. It's been a little while, so wanted to try to get back into this, and I have a whole bunch of lures that I have to review, and I'm going to start with this Ima Shaker. Hopefully, I can get in some kind of a rhythm again and start putting these out on a weekly basis, and get caught up on all those lures that I've bought over the last year, and get back to status quo, if you will. So, like I said, this is the Ima Shaker. It's a flat-sided, shallow running, not really a square bill, but more just a kind of a finesse crankbait is what I would describe it as. Tackle Warehouse has them. They have them for $16.99, so it's a little bit more of a pricey crankbait, being that it's of the Japanese variety, I guess. It has a length of 2 3/4 inches, has a weight of 3/8 of an ounce, a diving depth of 3 to 5 feet, and it's a floater. In my experience with it, it was more of a slow floater, which is not surprising given the classic crankbaits or the company that it has in the classic crankbaits, with the Jackall Bling. Let's see, we got the Jackall Bling, we got the Spro Little John, and this is the Lucky Craft KJ Flat. And then some of the another one that I'll show you guys, but not really in the same class because it's larger. The 6 cents flat. I think it's a crush, but this is the flat variety of that crush square bill that is fairly popular amongst people out there. There we go. So anyway, as far as the crankbait is concerned. Very nice fit and finish, as you would expect. It is a plastic crankbait. For those of you guys that were confused looking at it, it almost looks, and just by it looks alone, it doesn't behave like a wooden crankbait, but it almost looks like a balsa crankbait. Just from the actual, gosh man, my camera won't focus. There we go. By the cut that it is, or the mold that it is, I guess. It kind of looks like it's a balsa crankbait, but it isn't, and it's got this they call it a circuit board lip. It's just a fiberglass bill, and it's got a round split ring on it, which is something that I'd like to see, especially a company like this and paying $16.99 for this. You got to see an oval square bill on there. Or not a square bill, but an oval split ring, because an oval split ring just makes it a lot easier to tie. I think most people favor an oval split ring on there. I think you would expect that, so I'd like to see something like that on I keep wanting to call this a square bill, but it's just a shallow running crankbait of this caliber. You'd want to see something like that on there. It's got painted on eyes, which is interesting because there are, like, this Jackall Bling is the only other one that has painted on eyes, but again, why would they choose painted on eyes? I don't really know. I couldn't tell you why they would choose painted on eyes, but it's something that came from another, that you expected from another company to have three-dimensional holographic eyes in this Jackall brand here, but they also went with the painted on eyes as well. So I don't really know why they went with the painted on eyes. It's inconsequential. The action of this bait speaks for itself, and that's where you're going to pay that $16.99. I think that they probably believe in it a little bit more. You're going to pay more for a Japanese bait anyway, but in my experience on the water with it, that this action on this bait is awesome. It has a very, I don't want to say erratic, because it definitely has a tighter wobble to it, being that it is a flat-sided crankbait. It does have rattles in it. Not a very loud rattle, but I don't think you would expect much of a loud rattle out of a lure, being that you're going to fish with this in more of a finesse situation anyway. You don't really want to give a whole lot of sound out there that are going to spook fish that are already finicky. So, but it does have a rattle. But what I was saying about the erratic action or lack thereof is that it's not so much erratic in the fact that it has a really large swinging action like a traditional square bill, because it has a really tight action, but its rolling action and that really tight wobble that it has is extremely quick. And when you're rolling it through the water, It doesn't displace a lot of water like you would with a traditional square bill, like this 1.5 from Strike King, the KVD. You can see that they're roughly the same size, but this crankbait actually it really has this wonderful rolling action in conjunction with this nice small arc swinging action that it has, but it's very quick and it's hard to describe it. But the best practice that I saw out on the water is with a very slow retrieve, and that's where this bait really shines. Where a lot of baits, like a traditional square bill, some of the and I'm just holding this square bill up as an example. I'm not saying that this necessarily does this, but a lot of square bills, you'll see them lose a lot of that action that they have on a slower retrieve, just because that's not really what they're built for. They're not really built for a slow retrieve per se. Some people might use them that way, but where this one really shines is in that really slow, methodical retrieve, and it doesn't lose any of the action. You can reel this thing as slow as you want, and because it has that really slow float to it, it's going to stay underwater on a slow retrieve, almost kind of like a suspending rip bait, how it stays underwater, but it's not going to lose any of that action. It's just when I was out fishing with it, I had thought through my head, how would I describe this to you guys? I would describe it as going 100 miles an hour sitting still. Very interesting. So very nice crankbait. I really enjoyed fishing with it. I caught a couple fish on it. I really didn't even expect to catch anything. Like I've told you guys in the past, when I go out trying to test out these lures, I'm out there very systematically and very objectively fishing with these lures to try to get some facts for you guys. And as it happened, I caught some fish on it. So very pleased with this crankbait. It also comes with owner ST36 number 6 hooks on it, which is I always put owner ST36 hooks on just about every one of my lures that I have in all of my hard bait collection. So very, very nice crankbait here. I really enjoy it. You're not going to get a huge amount of casting distance out of this, as you would expect. You don't really get a whole lot of casting distance out of the other ones in this category, like this Little John. I'm going to just start showing them to you guys so you guys can get the idea of what they look like. Here's a Jack All Bling, slightly smaller than the rest of them. Very good crankbait here. And then the KJ Flat, which would be slightly larger. And then that 6 cents, which is that even larger yet, just almost a behemoth compared to some of these other ones. Look at that top view of it. You can see they're all flat-sided like that, but some are smaller and some are bigger. But most of them are in this range of that 3/8 ounce. So you're not going to get that huge casting distance, but again, it's a smaller crankbait, smaller profile. Really trying to hit home with that finicky fish idea, where you need something that is not going to spook fish. So great little crankbait here. Got a couple colors. This first color I have here is called Chartreuse Shad. Just kind of like a pearl blue on the top. You can see it says Ima Shaker right there on the back. Whoops. And then just that traditional shad pattern with that orange throat, fiberglass bill, and the odd looking eyes there. There's the Chartreuse Shad. This next color is called Horton, I believe. Maybe it's not called Horton. Oh yeah, it is. There it is. It's called Horton. So you got this orange back, and it's kind of got a green scale pattern on it, and it's not really white. It's more off-white. I don't know the way if it's showing up correctly on your guys' end, but it's more of an off-white color, kind of like an eggshell. Got that red bleeding gill there, and same orange throat as before. This is called Horton. Well, there it is, you guys. I know I haven't done these reviews in a long time, and like I said, I really want to try to get back in the swing of doing these. I really enjoy doing them for you, and it really gives you guys an idea of what's out there, especially baits that a lot of you guys haven't tried before or maybe are interested in. I'm kind of like the guinea pig of the YouTube bass fishing world, where I buy these baits and some of them are junk and some of them are pretty good, and you guys kind of just take it with a grain of salt and give you guys some feedback about them. But this one's pretty good. I really like it a lot. So give it a shot if you guys get the opportunity. It's a little pricey, $16.99, but right now it's Black Friday, so you get 20% off on some of these baits. Probably not on Ima because it's a Japanese bait, but I don't know. You can try something. All right, guys. If you guys like the video, please hit the like button. I don't really know where it is anymore. Somebody told me more recently that the like button is not down here in the lower left corner anymore. Sometimes it's over here in the lower right corner. I don't really know. So wherever it is on your video player, do me a favor and try to find that like button. I really appreciate that. And stay tuned for the next review. I've got another one coming up right after this. Thanks a lot, guys.